One of the big stories coming out this week, Khamzat Chimaev looks finally set to return, or is going to take on Kamaru Usman. Not officially booked, but looks like it's going to go down in Abu Dhabi in October at welterweight as well. I think a lot of us thought that Chimaev was going to come back in the middleweight division, but yeah, looks like Chimaev is making one last sort of run at welterweight. It's a very interesting fight, and the ramifications for the rest of the division are massive, especially for Bilal Muhammad.
We have plans for Bilal Muhammad, mate. We have plans. Shavkat, mate. He's next. Yeah, it's a weird one because, like Khamzat, he initially built his profile off being active and fighting whoever, and he's had this long layoff after the Holland fight, and it wasn't like, you can't blame it on a bad weight cut because he didn't really cut that much weight because they didn't allow him to continue to cut. And he came out unscathed. He absolutely just chucked Kevin Holland about. So it's like, what is going on? And see when fighters say, "Oh, I can't get a fight because no one will fight me." I was like, I refuse to believe there's no one on the roster that would say yes to Khamzat Chimaev, either at 185 or 170, because there definitely is. So I'm curious to kind of know why he's not being active. But I like the Usman fight, and I prefer, to be honest, I think the Costa one is fun, but I think this one has a little bit more meaning to it, I think. Yeah, I think it'll be a good fight. How do you kind of see it all?
Yeah. Oh, yes. It is a brilliant fight, and I think it's probably one of the toughest fights for Chimaev at 170, to be honest, just because of the wrestling prowess and just the strength that Usman possesses. And, will Chimaev be able to ragdoll him like he has done to so many other people? But yeah, it is fascinating just in the landscape of 170 because, there's already I don't know if you call it rivalry, but there is history there with him and Leon Edwards because they were booked to fight 3 times, with both of them falling out due to COVID and whatnot. So yeah, and we know how much the UFC view Chimaev as like a cash cow. So if he beats someone like Usman, I would not be surprised for a second to see him immediately thrown into a title fight against the winner of Colby versus Leon. I reckon part of the reason at least why we haven't seen Chimaev in action this year is the same reason why Makhachev's not been booked like for the summer or anything, is because they want him in front of that Abu Dhabi crowd.
I don't get the whole Abu. I don't really get it. Like, oh god, I don't get why some people are like, oh, we'll get you at home and stuff like that, but other fighters, they've got to travel and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's a good excuse.
It's a huge market. I don't think it's an excuse from Chimaev's side. It's the UFC. They have these set deals with the people out there, and I think I don't know the exact details, but they definitely have. It's in their best interest to sort of pander towards the people over there.
Pandering is a good word. That's what the UFC does. That is a perfect word to describe it. But yeah, maybe I think I can see the build up getting pretty kind of fiery in this one. You know how Chimaev can be, just talking absolute waffle a lot of the time. But yeah, I don't. Who do you think wins it though? Who do you think wins it?
I would have to go Chimaev. I think just because Usman is now he's getting.
He's got older,
towards the end of his career. We know the knee issues he's had. I don't know about his last fight, whether that was just Leon Edwards really just peaking, or is Usman missing a step? Is it a good style match? I don't know. But yeah, you have to favor Chimaev. Although there are like the caveats of weight cut. How is that? Like he said before that if he has enough time to properly prepare a weight cut, he can do it as long as it's not on short notice anymore.
But didn't he see for his first fight, was that a middleweight in the UFC, and then the second one was a welterweight? Or am I getting it mixed up? Because then he would have cut weight in that week.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's how it went.
The second fight was Reece McKee, right?
Yeah, so
and McKee's not hitting middleweight anytime soon.
No, that was at 170. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, the whole weight cut thing, it's like, can he actually make, because it's a classic Dana, just like, oh, he's got his next fight will be at 185. He needs to continue
Yeah,
his career. And then they see this opportunity and it's like, well, actually, maybe I'll let you do this, but can he make the weight? How much will it take out of him? And it's like,
who knows?
we've seen a lot of the times, when people cut weight, it affects their chin a lot. And he's hiding something underneath that beard. We don't actually know. You've seen that edited photo that makes him look like he's got no chin.
Yeah. um, it does raise the question though, like if I mean that's an amazing co-main event, right? Main event,
Five
who do
rounds?
you reckon?
5 rounds?
Maybe.
Four, 3 rounds.
I
I
think
think they'll
it,
give him 3 rounds with Usman. I think they won't
yeah,
let him do 5 because I could see I could see Usman tiring out over 5, to be
definitely,
honest.
definitely, definitely. But who do you reckon main events then? Makachev, I presume, would be the go-to.
Yeah.
It's more a question, around that time, who do you predict that he's going to be defending his belt against, or is he moving up, or
I don't think he'll move. I don't think
nah,
Makachev will move
not
up.
not yet, not
I think
yet.
after he got I think he got when he got manhandled by a five
Oh,
foot four featherweight. I think he probably ruled out moving up and facing Khamzat Chimaev or Leon Edwards or whatever. But it will probably be Dariush, won't it? Unfortunately,
so what, do you think Darius is going to beat Oliveira then? Because
I don't
that's
want him to. I'd
no,
love,
neither
I'd
do
love if
I.
Oliveira, see
Yeah,
nothing more, knocks out Beneil Dariush, travels to Abu Dhabi, chokes him out in front of his own crowd,
imagine.
screaming in front of all the warlords that are sitting out front.
God, he wouldn't make a
Yeah,
doubt.
but I don't know. Dariush is just like it doesn't. Yeah, Makachev just Dariush.
Yeah.
Well, some build up that'll be. I mean, um,
It,
yeah,
I don't know. It's not an awful fight though. Let's be honest. It would be
no, it's
pretty
not
interesting,
awful.
and it's probably Makhachev's stylistically hardest fight in the
He,
division.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That's
wait,
a,
wait. What do you think is more likely then? Presuming Dariush beats Oliveira, Makhachev versus Dariush, or Makhachev versus Volkanovski 2, assuming Volkanovski beats Yair.
yeah. I would prefer the Volkanovski fight. I
Would you?
think because it was a great fight. I love that. It was
Yeah,
well fun to watch, and I think it's just like adds a bit.
but it's a bit rough to the division because
100%. They need to stop the immediate rematches because
yeah,
it actually pains me, the immediate rematches, man. I didn't even think see the Adesanya Pereira one. I was like, see if they didn't give it to Pereira, I wouldn't have been upset about it, to be honest, because I think it's like you've kind of got I don't know, just yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
It just holds everything up and it leaves people waiting in the wings for a competition, but. Yeah, I don't know. Like the thing is, it's like if Chimaev wins this one and he wins, let's say he wins the welterweight title, it's like how long is he going to stay at welterweight for? Because
Mm,
he's a big guy,
huge.
and he's only going to with age you're only going to get bigger and fill out more, and the weight cut's going to become harder. So it's like even after the Usman fight, you could see him maybe moving up after that because he just can't make the weight.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know, but I think it's a great fight. Yeah, with all the stuff with the UFC at the moment and revenue splits and everything else going on, when you get fights like this, it does soften the blow of the not like the annoying aspect of the sport, which I don't know, just makes me I don't know. It's difficult to like sometimes, but when you
Yeah,
see fights like this, it's like, man, yeah, what a fight.
absolutely.